Time now at 7:20. We have become used to hearing about the migrants gathering in northern France as they try to enter Britain illegally.
Some of those living in the makeshift camps there already hold British passports and are free to travel back to here whenever they like. Our reporter Thomas Morgan has been meeting some of them when he visited a camp in Dunkirk and is there for us this morning. Morning, Thomas.
Good morning. Yes, this camp in Dunkirk has grown, well, 10 times the size as it was in the summer. There are now around 3,000 migrants, mostly from Iraq, living here, as you say, in Dunkirk. And some of those, we've spoken to a handful, do have British passports. And I spoke to some of them earlier on yesterday.
This was Dunkirk's migrant camp when I was here 6 months ago. There were around 300 people living here then. Now it's increased to 3,000 after the influx of migrants into Europe last year. In the summer, there were around 4,000 people living in camps across this area of France. Today, that estimate is over 10,000. The region hasn't been able to cope with this huge increase, with conditions deteriorating rapidly as more arrive in this camp in Dunkirk. One family living in these appalling conditions is Rowan Aziz's. Originally from Kurdistan in Iraq, he successfully gained asylum into the UK almost 10 years ago and has been living in Bolton. 6 years ago, he was granted a British passport. But now he's living here because recently his wife and son left Iraq. They don't currently have the legal right to live with him in Britain, but they thought being closer would help their application process.
Do you regret leaving Kurdistan and bringing your family to these conditions?
Yeah, I'm upset for my child, Oscar, upset about that because he's being illnesses, faced too many kind of situation, but he's still not regret, and I am not regret as well.
There are a few others in a similar situation as Rowan's, men with British passports who have chosen to live here in Dunkirk in these worsening conditions with their families as their applications are considered.
According to aid workers, the situation in Dunkirk is far worse than in any other migrant camp across the world.
It's unhygienic, it's cold, it's unsanitary, the living conditions are appalling, there's very limited health care, and there doesn't seem to be any way out for these families.
With more people arriving on a daily basis here, the situation is getting worse. But for Rwand and other British citizens in the camp, it's the life they've chosen so they can be with their family.
What's your ideal scenario in terms of the future?
I hope to get to UK and get him, Oscar, good education and then save his life, be healthy. Now this is no camp. This is the only jungle, and this is the jungles and some tenders. But if you stay one night in here, actually life in this camp is very, very, very hard.
Another gentleman I spoke to, Peshawar, who was also from Iraq, had a job and a home and a life back in London where he came from. And now he's living here in Dunkirk with his wife in a tent in these conditions. His wife is currently in the hospital with an illness. And
OK, apologies there. That's Thomas reporting to us from Dunkirk. One or two problems with the line there. We'll cross back a little later on, just establishing some of the problems people are facing in Dunkirk in the camps there.